In this lesson, we will explore the ICS Toolkit, where ICS stands for Ideation of Sustainable Concepts. This is a tool developed by the Politecnico di Milano, made available for free and as open access to support designers and design students in creating products with low environmental impact. The ICS Toolkit consists of a set of tools designed to orient the generation of ideas and concepts towards environmental sustainability and to qualitatively evaluate their environmental impact. This tool has been updated over several years based on feedback from various research projects with companies and from its use in teaching. This year, its 10th version was released. The ICS is divided into 4 main sections, all integrated into a single interactive digital file. Let's now see how to use the various functions of the ICS within a typical product development design process. At the beginning of the project, during the brief definition and strategic analysis phase, we can use the first section of the ICS to carry out a qualitative assessment of the environmental impact of an existing product and, based on this, define the priorities for lifecycle design strategies, that is, to evaluate which strategies are most likely to reduce the environmental impact for a given product. To support this assessment, each strategy is equipped with checklists that prompt the designer about the main environmental issues of the product, as well as one or more text fields where responses can be entered in the form of brief reports. If an LCA, that is a life cycle assessment, has been carried out on an existing product, its quantitative results can be used to give more scientific substance to the evaluation. Once this phase is completed, it is possible to assign each strategy a design priority level high, medium, low, or none using a drop-down menu. For some strategies, such as minimizing material or energy consumption, the sub-strategies are very different from one another and may have different priorities depending on the type of product and its impact. For example, there is a big difference between prioritizing minimizing packaging and minimizing the material content of the product. In these cases, the overall priority of the strategy is automatically calculated based on the sub-strategy with the highest priority. The phase of qualitative evaluation of the existing product and definition of priorities takes between 30 and 90 minutes, depending on the complexity of the product. Then, in the concept development phase, we can use the core part of the ICS Toolkit, namely the Eco-Ideas board, a section designed to orient the generation of environmentally sustainable ideas. For each lifecycle design strategy, the ICS shows the priority indicator and a list of all the sub-strategies and their related guidelines. Associated with the guidelines, there are also hyperlinks to example cards of existing products that illustrate the various guidelines. These guidelines and cards help the designer find inspiration when generating eco-ideas. On the eco-ideas boards, designers can jot down their own ideas on dedicated digital post-its. After this divergent phase in generating eco-ideas, the designer can select the most promising ones for each strategy by copying the relevant digital post-its and pasting them into the evaluation radar section. This section provides an overview of the most promising eco-ideas, also supporting a further selection thanks to the indication of priorities for each strategy, which the designer can then incorporate into an initial concept draft. The entire ideation phase on the eco-ideas boards takes between an hour and a half and 4 hours, depending on the complexity of the product. Once the more detailed concept has been defined, we can use the checklist to evaluate the pursuit of life cycle design strategies. This section allows you to evaluate, through a checklist, the level to which each life cycle design strategy is pursued in the concept. The ICS offers 3 evaluation methods. In the simplified mode, the evaluation of pursuit is carried out directly at the strategy level and is ideal for a quick overview. In fact, it only takes 5 to 10 minutes. In the normal mode, the level of pursuit is evaluated for each sub-strategy, and completing it takes about 15 to 30 minutes. In the in-depth mode, the pursuit of individual guidelines for each strategy and sub-strategy is checked, and the completion time can range from 1 to 1.5 hours. In all 3 modes, the levels of strategy pursuit are expressed on a qualitative scale ranging from poor to mediocre, good and excellent. The values are also weighted according to the priority level of each strategy. The evaluation sheets also include a notes page where you can jot down observations or ideas that may come to mind while filling out the checklists. All the notes written during the evaluation can be easily retrieved directly in the Eco-Ideas boards. This allows reflections and comments that emerged during the analysis phase to be transformed into further design inspirations to improve the concept. In fact, this is precisely the main purpose of this section, to evaluate the concept based on the pursuit of the strategies and to understand if and where improvements can be made. Once the evaluation is complete, we can return to the evaluation radar section, where the levels of pursuit for the various strategies will be visible within the radar. Before proceeding, it is advisable to write in the boxes for each strategy which environmentally favorable features have been integrated into the concept. In this way, thanks to the brief descriptions, the radar, and the strategy priority indicators, the designer has an intuitive and clear overview of what has been done and where improvements can be made, perhaps by going back to the Eco Ideas boards and doing another round of brainstorming. Up to this point, we have seen how the X Toolkit integrates into a typical product development process. But the X was designed as a flexible tool, and its various sections can also be used in different sequences. For example, if you want to compare two concepts or two existing products to understand the environmental advantages of each, you can start directly from the evaluation of how well products A and B pursue lifecycle design strategies and then compare them using the radar visualization. In this case, the designer can also use the improvement radar, which shows how much better or worse concept B is compared to concept A, strategy by strategy. In conclusion, the ICS Toolkit is a powerful set of tools for orienting design towards environmental sustainability in a way that is both structured and creative. It allows you to qualitatively evaluate a reference product, define environmental priorities, generate targeted sustainable ideas inspired by guidelines and examples, evaluate the implementation of strategies in one or two concepts or existing products, and compare them visually and intuitively. The latest version of the ICS can be downloaded for free from the link provided in the in-depth box.